I love movement, but I hate the fitness industry. Everything that I tried within the fitness industry made absolutely no sense to me. And trust me, I tried everything. Everything from yoga to Pilates to HIIT workouts to CrossFit to bodybuilding to various diets. If it existed, I gave it a go. And none of those things gave me anything back. And that's when I realized something deeper was wrong. It wasn't just me. It was the whole damn industry. It was all about false promises, quick fixes, gimmicks, transformations, and it lit a fire inside of me. I knew there was something more to it. I just couldn't articulate it at the time. And that's when I discovered movement. Movement is not just a hobby. It is not just exercise. This is my passion. This is my obsession. This is my way of life. And looking at the fitness industry as a whole makes my blood boil, because everything is bastardized, from the empty obsessions of bodybuilding to the sweat cults of HIIT workouts to the starvation diets, the detox scam, the influencers with fake bodies selling snake oil to people who don't know any better. It is endless mixed messages, and it leaves people broken, resentful, and confused. And it leaves people not wanting to train at all, or only training for the sake of it because they think they have to. And here's the thing, movement is not supposed to be like that. Movement runs deeper than that. It runs deeper than sets, reps, macros, or aesthetics. Movement is the foundation of being human. It is your birthright. It is your duty, your responsibility to learn to move. Not just to work out, but to move in ways that make you stronger, freer, more resilient for life. Not because you bought a gadget, not because you joined the latest class, but because your body was designed to move that way. Look at the longest living cultures in the world. They don't have gyms, they don't have fancy equipment, they don't have $200 yoga mats or detox teas. They move because life demands them to move. They squat, they walk, they bend, they carry, they wrestle, they climb. They age well into their 70s, 80s, and 90s. They remain strong, capable, mobile because they keep moving. They don't end up fragile and broken. That's what real physical culture looks like, and that is what you are missing. That is what most people are missing. And that's why I feel like I'm on a mission, a rebellion to go against everything that the fitness industry is selling you. Because it's not about 6-week challenges, it's not about sculpt classes or whatever trendy bullshit is on Instagram this month. It's about reclaiming your independence. It's about reclaiming your body. It's about stripping away the lies and returning to the basics, the strength, the control, awareness, discipline, resilience, daily practice of a craft. Now, let me be very clear with you. If you enjoy doing yoga or Pilates or HIIT classes, that's great. I want you to keep doing that if it gives you joy, if it gives you a community, if it makes you feel good. That has value. But don't be fooled into thinking that this is the whole answer and these things will fix your broken bodies. Don't go in there blind. Go in there with awareness, with the understanding that you need more, that you need to train your body beyond just gimmicks, and that you actually need to explore the deeper meaning of why you're moving. Because if you don't, you'll stay stuck. And that's what this episode is about, pulling back the curtain on the things that I dislike in the fitness industry. Not because I want to tear them down, some of them have value, but because I want you to see the truth, or at least be able to see a different perspective. It is an industry built on selling you quick fixes, gimmicks, smoke and mirrors. It is selling you things that look like freedom, but really keep you trapped. And like I said, movement is my passion. For me, this runs deeper than just exercise. And I don't want to see people making this mistake, and I don't want to see people giving up on movement because they're not getting results and they're not getting the fulfillment and the freedom that they deserve. Movement is supposed to set you free, not lock you into another cage. So let's start with yoga. It's the most common practice that a lot of people do, whether that's for internal practice or to become flexible. Now, yoga was never about becoming flexible. Yoga was never about sweating buckets in a hot room. It was about breath. It was about spirit. It was about awareness. Yoga was an internal practice. It was about going deeper within yourself. Ancient yoga is absolutely beautiful. I have studied with Eastern yoga teachers, and I've had profound experiences within these teachings. Some of these experiences were life-changing, soul-level kind of stuff. And that's what yoga was meant to be all along. And that's why I get so passionately angry about what we have in today's world. A complete bastardization. We have hot yoga, hip hop yoga, dance yoga, flying yoga, trapeze yoga, sculpt yoga, all this sort of shit that we have turned something sacred into a circus act. And I'm not happy about that. And the problem is that people are going there 5 times a week, wasting their precious training time, thinking that it's going to fix their tight hips, thinking that it's going to transform their body. 5 years later, they are still stiff, still broken, still chasing the unattainable. And I say this because I was one of those people. I used to go to Bikram yoga 5 times a week in the hopes that I would become flexible. Guess what happened? I never became flexible. All I got was a sweat-soaked towel and the illusion that I was doing something. 3 years later, after going deep into my mobility journey, I went back to that exact same class. And do you know what happened? The people in that class thought that I was the guru coming to teach the teacher. That's how transformed I had come back through my mobility journey. I was stronger, I was more flexible, I was more resilient, and I was able to excel in a class that I didn't have much experience in. So make of that what you will. I don't hate yoga. I actually respect it in its purest form. What I hate is what it has turned into, a product, a gimmick, something sold as a miracle when it's not. Yoga can be beautiful, but if you think that that is the only thing you need, you are completely lost. Okay, so really quick, I want to share a resource with you that I have available if you are currently feeling injured, stiff, broken. If you're a professional athlete looking to improve your mobility, my mobility toolkit is currently helping over 50,000 people in 40 plus countries, people ranging from all walks of life, complete beginners, professional athletes, men and women in their 70s and 80s. If you have 15 minutes to spare, this will work for you and it's going to produce dramatic results within weeks. Check it out. CrossFit. Now look, I respect the CrossFit community. I respect the energy. I respect the exposure that it's given to Olympic lifting and gymnastics-based training. That's all really valuable and it exposes people to something outside of the general gym setting. But let's be real. CrossFit is the reason that chiropractors and physios are reckoning the dollars. It's why people are walking around with slipped discs, trashed shoulders, and busted knees. CrossFit is just as dangerous as the people who never move at all. Why? Because chaos is not programming, fatigue is not adaptation, and killing yourself in a workout is not what movement is supposed to be. What it's actually become is a cult. People smashing themselves with random workouts day after day, worshipping intensity like it's the holy grail. They think that if they crawl out of the gym, if they can barely drive home or sit on the toilet seat, they've won. But all they've really done is break themselves down even further. And here's the truth that no one wants to hear. The regular Joe Blow from down the block, the guy who can't even touch his own toes or scratch his own back, has no business snatching a barbell overhead. He has no business doing kipping pull-ups. These movements demand precision, mobility, control, and yet CrossFit throws them at the people who can't even squat full depth. That is not training, that's demolition. That is fragility dressed up as toughness. Because here's the thing, toughness without longevity is fragility, and CrossFit for the average person isn't toughness, it's fragility. And I've seen it firsthand. Way too many broken backs, shoulders sacrificed at the altar of the WOD leaderboard. People chasing ego, chasing the clock, chasing that cult of intensity, and losing their bodies in the process. That is not the way to go. So yeah, community is great, energy is great, but if the cost is your spine, your knees, your shoulders, and your movement capacity, that is not fitness, that's lunacy. Now, bodybuilding. I'll be clear, bodybuilding did teach me a lot. It taught me discipline, it taught me structure, it taught me form, it taught me mind-muscle connection, it taught me how to connect to my body and how to actually feel a muscle work. It also taught me how to push reps and grow, and there's value in that. And I get it. People train bodybuilding to look a certain way. They want to step on stage, they want to carve out that physique. But here's where I have a problem. Bodybuilding in its pure form is completely non-functional. Trying to look like a blow-up balloon just to pose under some stage lights and slap on some fake tan is not what the regular person needs. Because when the whole point of your training becomes carving out muscles in front of a mirror, you lose the bigger picture. Yeah, maybe in some people's eyes you look good, but can you even move? Can you touch your toes? Can you scratch your back? Can you get up and down from the floor without using your hands? Can you climb? Can you squat? Can you actually move with freedom like a human being is supposed to move? Maybe that doesn't matter to you right now at 20 or 30 when you are more worried about abs and pump covers. But fast forward to 40, 50, 60, when you can't carry your own shopping bags, when you can't get off the ground by yourself, suddenly it matters. Look at Ronnie Coleman, 8 times Mr. Olympia, one of the greatest bodybuilders to ever live. And now he's a broken vegetable, completely wrecked. That is not freedom, that's a prison. And then you've got the dark side of bodybuilding, the steroids, the endless cycles, the surgeries, the fake bodies parading as hard work. People literally injecting fat into their ass and then selling you a booty band program claiming that's how they built it. It's ridiculous. It's madness. Meanwhile, regular people are online every day comparing themselves to chemically engineered physiques or surgically enhanced bodies, and in the process destroying themselves trying to measure up. I've seen it ruin self-worth, I've seen it ruin confidence, I've seen it cause eating disorders, body dysmorphia, wrecked hormones. People chasing a shape that isn't even real. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not fitness. That is theater. That's an illusion, a costume. And the industry profits off of it. They profit off of your insecurities. They profit off keeping you chasing something that is completely unattainable. They're not selling you strength or freedom or resilience. They are selling you mirrors and smoke, and you're falling for it every single day. Now let's talk about HIIT, high intensity interval training. These classes have become the sweat cult. You walk in, the lights are low, the music is blasting, the instructor is yelling at you to push harder, go faster, go longer, do more. 40 minutes later, you walk out drenched in sweat thinking, wow, I really changed my life today. I've earned that wellness smoothie that I have every day at 12 p.m. And here's the truth. Sweat doesn't equal progress. Being exhausted doesn't equal growth. Fatigue is not adaptation. These classes are designed to give you the feeling that you did something, only because you're crawling out of the room dripping, half dead. But go back a year later, and what's changed? You're not stronger. You're not more capable. You're not moving any better. You've just gotten addicted to the sensation of being smashed. And people mistake that sensation for results, but it's not results, it's hamster wheel fitness. You're working hard, but you're going nowhere. And like with all of the things I just mentioned, if you enjoy doing that, if it gets you off the couch, if it makes you feel alive, great, keep doing it. But don't fool yourself into thinking that it's going to bulletproof your body. Don't fool yourself into thinking that it's going to give you resilience. Because it won't. All it does is burn you out and keep you chasing that high of destruction instead of actual progress. Okay, now onto Pilates. Pilates does have value. Controlled strength, awareness, breathing, spinal control. That's all really great stuff. But let me remind you, Joseph Pilates didn't invent this for vanity. He created it back in the early 1900s as contrology, a system to help injured dancers, soldiers, and athletes restore their function, rebuild their bodies, and move better. That was the original intention, as far as my research goes. But here's the problem. The way Pilates is marketed today is completely misleading. They tell you that it's going to give you long, lean, toned muscles. I hate to break it to you, but there is no such thing as long, lean, toned muscles. You cannot elongate a muscle. You cannot magically tone a muscle. Those are just buzzwords. The only way that you're going to improve your body composition is by eating well and training hard. And then they spin it like it is a miracle body shaping system, as if lying on your back and pulsing your legs in 20 different directions for an hour is going to turn you into an athlete. It's nonsense. And this is where it becomes another one of those religious cults. People do it religiously. They swear by it. They believe that it is all they need. But meanwhile, they're missing all the basics. They can't squat with good form. They can't hinge properly. They can't lift their body weight. They can't do a pull-up, a push-up. They're not building the type of resilient muscle tissue that actually protects your joints and gives you longevity in your practice. So look, Pilates can be a great tool if you use it as part of a bigger training system. It adds value. But if you believe it's the whole answer, if you think that it's going to give you everything you need, you're lost. Pilates is a screwdriver, and a screwdriver is useful, but you cannot build a whole house with just a screwdriver. Starvation diets and cult nutrition. Now, this is where the industry really cashes in. Starvation diets, detox teas, 6-week shred programs, drop 5 kilos in 5 days. It is all snake oil. And the sad thing is people keep buying into it. And then you've got the cults, the keto, the carnivore, the vegan. It doesn't matter which one, they all sound the same. They all preach the same gospel. This one way is the way. If you follow it religiously, you will be saved. But let's be honest here, the food itself isn't the issue. You can get results on all of these diets or none of these diets. The issue is the tribalism, the obsession, the fanaticism, the way that these diets get turned into religions. People stop thinking for themselves. They start shaming others who don't follow their path. They become dogmatic, rigid, and blind. And where does this leave them? Jumping from one extreme to another, trying one diet this month and this diet next month, and they never actually build any sort of balance or understanding of what they're doing. They never build consistency. They never learn how to just eat like a human being. And here's the truth no one wants to hear. The truth is boring. Eat well most of the time. Be consistent. Be disciplined. Stop treating food like magic. Or stop treating food like poison. That's where the longevity is. That's where the health is. Eat whole foods. Stop eating processed man-made junk. Stop trying to go from zero to hero overnight and then act like your little experiment has cured the entire human race. Nobody knows the answers. Food is very individualized. What works for one person is not going to work for the other person. You have to figure out what works for you and stick with that for a good enough time until you see the results, and then change, adapt if it doesn't work out. And then you've got the other extreme, the people micromanaging every single calorie they put into their mouth, weighing out spinach leaves, low fat this, low carb that, high fat this. They are missing the forest for the trees. They're obsessing over numbers while forgetting the actual point. Build your body, nourish your body, educate yourself on what you're putting into your mouth, and then adapt from there. And the fitness industry is full of these kinds of people. And the worst thing is they try to tell you to do the same thing. That's not life. That's ludicrous. Instead of eating food that fuels you, instead of moving your body and eating like your nana used to cook, simple, real meals, people outsource their health to meal preps and fad apps. There is no connection to their food. There is no common sense. And a rule of thumb that I always just like to tell people, start very simple, and it's worked for generations. If it didn't come from the ground, if it doesn't have a mother or a father, maybe you just shouldn't eat it. And yes, plants included, they do have a mother and a father. It's that simple. But simple doesn't sell balance. Balance doesn't sell. And that's why the industry keeps preying on you with extremes, because extremes make money. Now, let's talk about influencers. Influencers and their fake bodies. This one really gets under my skin because it is the biggest scam of them all. You've got influencers who have butt implants, liposuctions, or they juice up on steroids, and then they're out here selling fitness programs, selling supplements, selling you the solution to all of your problems, selling everything that doesn't actually work for the regular person. They stand there with their surgically sculpted or chemically enhanced bodies and they preach hard work to you. They'll say, I built this glute shelf with donkey kicks and booty band workouts. No, you didn't. You built it with surgery or with a syringe, and that's the problem. Because the average person sees that online and thinks, well, if I just train harder, if I just buy their program, if I just take this supplement, maybe I can look like that too. But here's the harsh truth. You can't. Because it's not real. It's bought. It's manufactured. And it has not taken blood, sweat, and tears for them to get there. And I've seen it destroy people. I've seen it ruin self-worth. I've seen it wreck confidence. I've seen it create eating disorders, body dysmorphia, and hormonal issues. I have seen people obsess over themselves into the ground chasing a shape that isn't even human anymore. Meanwhile, the influencers, they profit off of that insecurity. They profit off of you not feeling good enough. They dangle an illusion in front of your face, then sell you the secret to chasing it. And all the while, they hide the truth. That is exploitation. That is fraud. And it is the most toxic part of this entire industry. Because it's not just fake bodies being sold. It's the idea that you are broken, and if you don't look like them, you're not a good person. And that, for me, is unforgivable. And then finally, we have the gimmicks. This industry thrives on them. The waist trainers, the fat burners, the 14-day shreds, the fancy shoes, the detox cleansers, magic supplements. All of these things promising you the world. It just never ends. It's crazy. And it's all the same formula. They sell you a shortcut. They sell you a fantasy. They make you believe that there's an easier way, a hack, a trick to bypass the hard work. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, there isn't. There are no shortcuts. There are no hacks. There is no tea, no detox, no waist trainer that's going to do the work for you that your body actually needs to do. Ask any athlete. It's about the years of trial and error, the years of failing, and the years of putting in the work. It's boring. It's about strength, awareness, control, discipline, practice day in, day out over many years. That's it. That's how you build resilience. That's how you build freedom in your body. You need to take accountability and put in the work for yourself, because everything else, it's all just noise. It's marketing. It's another cage. And people keep getting trapped in these cages because they don't want to face the truth. The path is very simple, but it's not easy. Movement is supposed to be about freedom, longevity, becoming more human, not another gimmick, not another shortcut. And until people wake up to that, the industry will keep making billions of false hope. And you will stay stuck unless you rebel, unless you see through it, unless you choose the hard, unsexy, consistent path. The one that actually works. You have all the answers. You have all the tools within you. You just have to give yourself time. You have to be willing to explore, and you have to be willing to put in the work. So what is movement really? After tearing all of these things down, let me leave you with this. Movement is not a gimmick. It's not a yoga pose. It's not a shredded physique. Movement is not a detox tea or a leaderboard score. Movement is the foundation of human life. It is the ability to squat down and get back up with freedom, to carry your own weight, to twist, to crawl, to climb, run, bend, wrestle, dance, play with your kids, inhibit your body fully without fear, without limitations, and most of all, without pain. Movement is freedom, it's adaptability, it's resilience, it's health that lasts forever, not just for weeks. That's what people should be chasing. Not another quick fix, not another cult, not another illusion. So if you're listening to this and you feel chained by these dogmas, stop outsourcing your body to other people. Stop believing that one method, one program, one magic solution is the answer. Use them if you enjoy them. Do them if they bring you joy. But don't mistake them for the whole picture, because there is so much more. Come back to the basics. Eat real food. Move in ways that challenge you, that build strength through a range, that pull you out of your comfort zone. Learn control. Get comfortable with discomfort. That's all there is. And as for me, this is my purpose. This is why I speak out against this industry. Not because I want to hate on yoga or CrossFit or bodybuilding or whatever else is out there. I respect that everyone's trying to do their thing, but I speak about it because I've lived the lives, and I refuse to let people stay trapped in cages that were never meant to exist. My mission is rebellion, to strip away the bullshit, to remind you that you don't need another gimmick, you don't need to worship another cult, you definitely don't need to compare yourself to anyone else except for yourself. You need to move, you need to claim ownership of your body, you need to practice movement daily like it's your birthright, because it is. And that's what movement truly is. Not fitness, not aesthetics, not cults. Freedom, longevity, power. And if you can start to see it that way, if you can start to train for that, you will never fall for the industry's lies again. That's my rebellion, that's my purpose, and that's why I will keep showing up here to remind you of that. I want you to start using movement as a catalyst towards improving every area of your life.